Hello, and welcome to the Whole Other Show by Xcellar Comics. We're all here already on the screen. We have no applause from the audience, though, because this show already sucks.
Oh, there we go.
My computer's acting goofy today.
Not that anyone needs an introduction because our names are already on the screen, but just because I'm so used to it, I'm going to do it anyway. I'll be your one of your four hosts, Kevin. There's Mike.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Pat.
Hi.
I got to get used to this. And look, check it out. It's Karen. The infamous Karen. Right there. You gonna say hey, Karen?
Hello.
The only thing we've ever seen by Karen before is her hands opening small items behind the board. So anyway, we're here to talk about.
Well, we've seen her face. They've only seen her hands.
Right. Yeah. So we're here to talk about any subject that we don't typically talk about on other shows that occasionally we'll refer to as that's a whole nother show. Yeah. Should I name it the whole nether show? Like,
Yeah.
No, just leave it. I already made the ticketer.
Yeah. It's like done. Yeah, I thought about that because the saying is that's a whole other show, right? Or save it for, or that's for another show or something like that.
I mean, I guess it's said a few different ways.
Yeah, we've said it the whole other show. Now, from now on, we can just say that's for the other show.
The whole other show.
Yeah, that's for the whole other show because we have it.
Yeah.
The whole entire show.
Right. So there's no format or anything here. We're just chilling, and you get to watch.
It's just wreaking havoc.
Yeah. Well, this is like I always say the half hour, 45 minutes that we take to set up our regular show is this, and I love it. And I'm always like, that's like my favorite part.
And we like the idea so much. We're in. So,
did you timestamp at all when we started this one? Because we're going to stick to 30 minutes. That's like the only kind of format that we're going to try to stick to is 30 minutes.
Well, I didn't. Are you saying, did I remember? We started at 19 minutes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So exactly, 30 minutes from there.
Yeah.
Even if I'm in the middle of a sentence, we're
Well, I would never do that. I'd let you get out your thought.
Yeah, you would.
All right, so I guess the first thing we want to talk about, something new.
This is it's still pretty fresh. We try to highlight. Sometimes we'll mention something on the other show about when somebody important to us in the entertainment industry passes away, and obviously on April 1st, Val Kilmer passed away. And
did he really though? It was April 1st. Are we sure?
This morning when I was writing some stuff down, I was like, April 1st, man, that would be like one of those. It's like the worst April Fool's joke, but one that I would welcome if it wasn't real.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. He'll probably go down as being it'll be an argument, whether Michael Jackson is really dead or whether Kirk, who's the other big one that Elvis. They talk about Elvis. Yeah, right.
Yeah. I actually have some Elvis notes here. It's so funny you bring him up.
Well, he was Elvis. Well, Val Kilmer was Elvis. Yeah.
Right. And this is so to get to this real quickly, for me, Top Secret and the cow with the boots, my brother and I couldn't stop laughing. That was our first introduction to Val Kilmer. It was his first movie. And then from there, he was in Real Genius. I wrote these down because you got to look at this track record. Top Secret in 84, Real Genius in 85, Top Gun in 86, Willow in 88, and then Kill Me Again, which was a box office crash. It was $4 million budget, made $283,000. And then he followed with The Doors, and then Thunderheart, which I saw in the movie theater. And then obviously Tombstone and True Romance in 93. So last night we're like, okay, let's watch a Val Kilmer movie. So I said, Emma, we're going to watch Top Secret or Tombstone? Which one? And of course, it's Tombstone every time, right?
Yeah.
So it's and then that's where the Elvis thing comes in because Kurt Russell was in Tombstone. They both played Elvis.
Right.
Val Kilmer did Elvis in
True
True
Romance. Yeah.
and then Kurt Russell is uncredited, but he did Elvis in Forrest Gump. And then in what was the name of that? 3,000 Miles to Graceland, he dressed in an Elvis costume.
Yep.
Anyway, it's kind of crazy.
Nice information, Mike.
Yeah.
My
It's harder
favorite-
to know when to clap when you're not behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Karen, stay focused, okay? I
I'm
know.
trying, I'm paying attention.
It's funny. We watched Tombstone last night, and it had been a few years since I watched it, and it's still, it's probably honestly my favorite movie with Val Kilmer in it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that because that Tombstone's in my top 5 favorite movies of period of all time, regardless of anybody being in anything. So I agree with that. What'd you say your favorite was, Pat?
It probably is Tombstone, but I love Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. It's a great flick if
Yeah.
you've never seen it. Robert Downey Jr., Shane Black is the director. It's very fast-paced, great dialogue, and just check it out if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to check that one out. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one either. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out as well. What was the other big one you didn't mention too?
Batman Forever.
Yeah, you didn't mention that. Yes.
Heat.
Heat. Right. Yeah, that's the other big.
That's why last night I thought after we're done, I'm like, we need to watch Heat next because I think that's a 3-hour. Is that a 3-hour movie?
It's pretty long, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like an hour of it is the them in the streets just shooting everything.
So I actually never watched. Well, I've seen Top Secret, but I didn't watch it when it originally came out. I watched it later. My first one that I actually saw with him was Real Genius, which I just love that movie so much.
2 hours and 50 minutes for Heat.
Oh, for Heat, yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
But yeah, he was. Did you say you haven't seen Top Gun 2 yet, right, Mike?
Correct.
Because he's in that, right?
Yeah. That was actually his last 2 movies were that, and then the documentary Val.
Yeah. Did you guys watch that documentary?
No.
I haven't watched it yet.
I watched it. It's extremely interesting. Yeah.
It's probably one of those. It's kind of like the Christopher Reeve one. That was tough to watch. The Robin Williams one was tough to watch. Some of these people that you really, everybody for whatever reason, they kind of attached to them, and it's just sad to watch. So I put off watching Val.
Yeah, it is pretty sad. Although you definitely, it's just like anything. You get used to the way he is in the movie.
Mhm.
When he's talking, and it's just interesting to hear all that background stuff. Definitely.
Val
I don't know
Kilmer
about-
was also in Mindhunters with Christian Slater, and you ever see that?
Yeah, I've seen that. He was in that.
Yeah.
Huh? I remember that.
I don't
he's
even
in-
remember that movie.
It's a good movie.
That's got Kiefer Sutherland in it too. That one.
I know Christian Slater. I think it's LL Cool J and that one girl that's in the Alien movies.
Sigourney Weaver.
No, not her.
The other one. There's no other girl in Alien movies.
No, no, we won't think about Winona. What's her name? Wyona, whatever her name is.
Oh, Winona Ryder. Yeah.
Yeah, she's in the Alien movies.
Yeah.
I'll give you a cast of Mindhunters. Val Kilmer is the first person they name. Christian Slater, LL Cool J, Will Kemp, Catherine Morris, who's from, she does that like La La or whatever it is. I don't know what it is. Elon Bailey, Johnny Lee Miller, Patricia Velasquez. I can't say her name. There's a lot of people in it.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Oh, that's not the one.
They
I'm thinking
become-
of.
They became famous after this movie, but this was from 2004.
Hmm.
Are you thinking of
So-
Flatliners?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you, Mike. That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking of.
That's
Yeah,
not
Flatliners.
what this is. This is not Flatliners.
Okay, yeah, that's the one I was thinking of, though. That's the one. I
Yeah,
had.
no, that's not it. But it's good. It's a good movie. I like it. I've watched it several times.
All right, and when was Winona Ryder in Aliens?
Which one was she in?
I'm
Because
not
I
gonna-
see, I believe she was.
She was a replicant, or not a replicant, an android,
was
wasn't she?
Yes. She was in.
But the Alien Resurrection.
There you go. You're faster than me.
Yeah.
Yep. 1994.
Man, I do not. I'm totally drawing a blank on that too. I don't remember her in Alien Resurrection.
Probably only saw it.
Yeah,
one time.
they treated her horribly because she was an android, AI or whatever.
Wow, I need to watch Alien Resurrection again. Yeah, I've seen it more than once, but it's probably been 20 years since I've seen it. When did Alien Resurrection come out?
1994, I think, or 7.
97.
97.
97.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I actually am an outlier there too. I actually enjoyed that movie. I actually didn't mind Alien 3 either, although that's my least favorite.
I tried rewatching Alien 3 recently because I really wanted to give it another shot. I didn't get too far into it. When Val Kilmer's Thunderheart came out in 92, I was in the Marine Corps, and out in Oceanside on Hill Street, there was a dollar movie theater, and this was playing there. And I would go in there and they'd play like 2 movies, and then they'd play the first movie again. A lot of times I had nothing to do. I would just watch the same 2 movies. Well, I went in, I was late, and Thunderheart had already started, and I walked in and it was dark. And this is life-changing. This is a life-changing moment. I changed my movie seeing habits because of this. So
Okay.
I walk in and it's really dark. The movie's already started. So I'm walking up and I'm like, I'm just going to sit in the first seat right there. So I go and I sit right in some guy's lap. I'm like, oh, sorry. I couldn't see. And from that point on, if I couldn't make it in when the lights were still on, this before, assigned seating for all the young kids didn't know, kind of had to fend for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I couldn't get in there before the lights went down, I wasn't seeing that showing.
Man, your feed is a wreck right now. Are you seeing him the same way, Pat?
Yeah, I thought he was watching the Transformers movie or something.
Yeah.
That was a great story. It's all glitchy.
Yeah. I think we got the meat of it though.
Yeah.
That is a great story.
Yeah.
Well, so that brings a whole other question before we get back to Val Kilmer. Are all theaters that way now? Do they have assigned seats? Is it's not fend for yourself in any theaters anymore, as far as you know, Mike?
I mean, as far as I know, I use AMC and
The
the Alamo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pat, is that the way it is in Butler still?
In Butler here, we only have the one theater, the repurposed Regal Cinemas, and they remodel it, and you're in these big cushy seats, and you do have to pick your seat before you go in. Or
I like that.
select it
I
online.
like that.
I like it too.
Then you can work. Then you can go in at the last second. Or
Yeah,
even
but
during-
here's what's funny about ours, and I haven't been to the movies a lot, and I'm not sure about other theaters, but at Butler here, it's Butler, I guess. So you go in and they turn the screen around and they say, go ahead and pick your seat. And you go to reach out. They say, it's not a touch screen, sir. Just let us know which seats you want. I'm
yeah,
like, sure. Okay.
yeah. I think that Jesse the last time we went to the Alamo too. A lady, which have you noticed this too, Mike, in our Alamo? Half the time, maybe even more, they don't even check. They just like, if you just show them, they just wave you in,
Yeah.
at the counter there, and you just go.
Yeah,
There's not
that's
even
fine.
like a door or anything. It's just a lady with a counter or a couple ladies at the counter, and you just show them your phone. They'll get
Right. Yeah. At AMC, they still scan your little barcode thing.
Right. Yeah, you got to actually have
Out
it
of
scanned
it's like,
right.
Oh, You have a phone? Go ahead. You can go ahead.
Right. which is a catch-22 because it's cool. It gets you in there quick, but I could see kids in the Marine Corps in '92. They just be going right in, like you said. Right?
Now you're
Yeah,
glitching, Kevin.
Yeah.
What?
You were glitching there for a couple seconds.
Oh. We'll see how that comes through when all's said and done today. But yeah, anyway, my favorite is Tombstone. Real Genius is probably my second, just because it was my first Val Kilmer, and I love that movie anyway. Has everybody seen Real Genius?
Yes.
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good, Pat. It's a comedy about him being a real quirky scientist guy. And then I'd say it's probably a tie between Willow and Top Gun for number 3 for me, because they're totally different movies, but they're both great.
Yeah. Yep.
Another couple of his movies that were real popular, I think, were The Ghost in the Darkness.
Oh yeah, The Ghost in the Darkness. That's right.
And The Saint. I liked him in The Saint.
Oh yeah, the James Bond typey movie, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which was a TV show. Yeah. And then wasn't he the doctor or wasn't he in the Doctor of Island Monroe or what?
Oh,
The
yeah.
Island of
Island
Dr.
of
Monroe.
Dr.
The Island of Dr. Monroe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that in a movie theater.
That was pretty bad.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
I was excited.
That's why I didn't mention it, because I thought that The Ghost in the Darkness and The Saint were pretty good, so I mentioned those.
Yeah, Ghost in the Darkness was awesome. I saw that in the theater. You know, those lions are in Chicago. They are.
Well, they were. I don't think they're alive anymore.
No, they killed them way back when. They were never alive in Chicago. They were just stuffed, or what's the taxidermy?
Oh, they're taxidermy. Okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah, they're taxidermied corpses are in the museum.
Yeah, in Chicago.
Interesting.
Yeah. And they have no mane. It's a weird thing.
I've seen The Ghost in the Darkness, good movie, but why are those lions infamous to where they're taxidermied in Chicago?
Well, it was a true story, was it not?
Yeah, there were reports that they killed like 130 some people, and lions don't act the way those two acted. It was kind of out of the norm for lions.
So since they were butchers and killers of man,
yes,
they thought they'd want to
set an example.
Yeah,
I guess.
All right.
Yep.
But you need to see Mine Hunters, all of you.
I'm making a note. And Kiss Bang Bang.
Yeah, kiss, bang, bang.
So first, I'm watching Top Secret.
The most surprising tidbit coming out of the death of Val Kilmer. If you guys saw this, and you always wonder when people pass away if it's entirely true, but Val was also in MacGruber, and it came out that Will Forte is saying that Val wanted him to go on The Amazing Race with him, but their agents wouldn't let them.
Wow.
Really? Wow.
That's what it said. What's what he said.
MacGruber was a what do they call those anyway? Wasn't it a
live movie?
No, when it's like mocking another thing. What's that?
MacGyver parody.
Parody, yeah, parody. It was a parody of MacGyver, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that one as well.
But their agents wouldn't let them.
That's what Will Forte claims. Yeah.
Well, Amazing Race isn't that old. He probably had his condition. Well, how old is Amazing Race?
Early 2000s.
Yeah, it's probably over 20, just like Survivor.
Yeah, so I was thinking Survivor came out, and then Amazing Race, I remember, came out right after it. And I know Survivor's like on season 24 or something like that. Something crazy.
47.
47?
That's weird. It's not like the traditional seasons.
Because there's
usually, because they have like 2 a year. Yeah.
Yeah, that always throws me. It's like 47. How is this show is catching up to my age on season?
Right.
It's like I'm not that many years old. How's it?
But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's-
anyway, when I don't know whenever they would have invited him on Amazing Grace, when did he? What can you see that in your notes, Mike? When did Val Kilmer kind of? What do you have? Like throat cancer or whatever?
Yeah, he had throat cancer. I thought it was like 2014. And Amazing Race was 2001.
MacGruber was 2010, so that's where they kind of met and became friends, I guess.
Oh, okay.
2015, he was diagnosed. Yeah.
And who knows? It probably didn't affect him, obviously, the way it did, the way he was before he was gone right away, anyway, too. So, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but
obviously a great career, and he seemed, I don't know about you all, but I didn't know him personally, but he seemed like a great guy.
Yeah. Yep. But like I'm your Huckleberry there. It's like such a great line from that movie.
It is. So I saw this video, and actually, you just watched it. Well, you probably aren't going to be able to exactly remember this, but here's what this video claims. Okay, where I'm your Huckleberry originated from. Okay, have you guys heard this before?
No,
I heard the guys on the morning show talking about this a little bit, but I was not paying it 100% attention. So
Yeah,
for me, it came from this movie. I don't know where he got it.
Well, right, but why did he say it in the movie? That's the point. Is in the Old West.
Okay.
Why would they say that? You see what I'm saying?
I take it as like I'm your man.
Yeah, well, we know what the meaning is, of course.
So
but
yeah,
what's the
Do
origin?
you really? Originally, it was Huckleberry, not Huckleberry.
Right. Why are you saying that, Karen?
Because I looked up, I'm your Huckleberry.
Okay, well, don't look up. No, this isn't a research unless.
I did it before this. I did it years before this.
Oh, okay. You didn't just do it right now.
And
Okay,
originally, it was Huckleberry, not Berry. Huckleberry,
Right,
I think, pertains to Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn. Like I'm your best friend. But originally, Hucklebearer meant that you would be one of the 6 to carry your casket.
Yeah, so Karen totally hijacked everything I was just getting ready to say.
Oh.
So yeah, that's a Hucklebearer is someone who carries your casket when you're, at your funeral or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So supposedly, well, I've heard two things actually. One, that he says Hucklebear. He doesn't say Huckleberry.
Ah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, he says he means to say Hucklebear, but he says Huckleberry.
Okay.
Those are the 2 things I've heard. I don't know which ones are true. That's what I was going to ask you, Mike. Are from you just watching it last night?
Well,
but I asked you a question prior to you watching it last night. You may have listened more intently to answer that question, but just going back in your brain, you might not know exactly. But is it 100% clear he says Huckleberry, or could he possibly be saying Hucklebear in a way that makes it sound like Huckleberry, where everybody's been getting it wrong forever? You know what I'm saying? Is this the same thing you heard on the morning show, Pat?
They were more discussing the genesis of the word and why he would have said it and things like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, I'm at that age where I have the words on. And I could have swore it said Huckleberry. So I heard him say Huckleberry.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In hindsight, you're probably gonna have a hard time picking that out in your brain. But so the next time we all watch it, we need to make sure
to pay attention.
Yeah. Which way we need to watch Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, then Mindhunters, then Tombstone, just to listen for Hucklebear.
Yeah.
It says Val Kilmer, who played Doc Holliday, has repeatedly stated that he said Huckleberry and not Hucklebearer in the film, and he titled his memoir I'm your Huckleberry. So
Oh, there you go.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
Which that would make sense because isn't he? If you haven't seen the movie, then it's gonna be a spoiler. But he's dying.
Mhm.
That's why I took it as he's saying he's your Huckleberry Finn to his Tom Sawyer. You know what I mean? Like they were best of friends, Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn.
Was that written?
yeah, there have been a little bit of an anachronism going on there because the Old West time that this happened in would have been prior to.
Yeah, but when has that ever happened before? Never.
Sure, you're exactly right.
Well, you know what? You know what I thought the first time I ever heard it?
Where?
Who's that old Hanna-Barbera?
Yeah. I'm your Huckleberry Hound.
Yeah, Huckleberry Hound. Yeah, that's
Yeah. That was definitely way before the West. After the West, I mean.
right. Wait, when did Mark Twain write Huck Finn?
Man, I'm thinking. When was Mark Twain? You know what's funny? While we're looking this up, you know, Wyatt Earp died in 1929.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Now I could be totally off base.
Tom Sawyer refers to fictional character written by Mark Twain, which was published in 1876.
Yeah, so that's totally
Doable, yeah.
doable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when did Rush write Tom Sawyer? That was the 70s.
That was funny. I kind of came off like a jerk. That was funny. You know, when something's not really funny, you don't give it enough effort to laugh at it. You
1981.
need to say it's funny.
Yeah. After last night after we watched Tombstone, Kevin Costner played Wyatt Earp. Let's watch the trailer for that. Because I haven't seen that for a long time. So we watched the trailer for that, and that just doesn't look good.
It's definitely good, but that's
Yeah.
what's so crazy about it. I just saw something on this yesterday too that it was a list of all the movies that were overshadowed by their better counterpart.
Ah,
Because they've done that so many times to where they'll have a movie and then a similar movie by a different studio out, and one of them wins the popularity contest every time. You never think, oh, those are both equally good. It's always one that's better than the other.
Yep.
So I think Wired. I saw them both originally. I think I saw them both in theaters, and yeah, and I thought Wyatt Earp was fine. It was just a totally different flick.
Yeah. Yep. That's what we talked about. The Prestige and The Illusionist.
Yeah.
With Hugh Jackman and Ed Norton and the other. Both great movies. Emily and I saw them both in the movie theater, and I think they both came out.
Right. It's so weird when that happens.
They're different, but they're the same.
Right. Yeah. The top 20, see if I can see how many I can rattle off, were they had the Bugs Life and Ants were about out at about the same time. And which I think Bugs Life wins out on that one easily. Then they had Deep Impact and Armageddon, which Armageddon crushed Deep Impact.
Mm-hmm.
Then they had Dante's Peak and Volcano, which I actually think Dante's Peak's a better movie, but Volcano, I think, made more money.
Yeah, I like Dante's Peak better too.
I didn't see either.
Oh,
They're both good.
But in the 90s, I didn't have cable TV for a lot of it.
Yeah, it seemed like this was a thing in the 90s. To have this copycat kind of thing happening a lot, it seemed. Can you think of any other ones, Pat?
Let's see, Oreos and Hydrox.
Yeah.
What?
Hydrox was actually before Oreos. They just stole it.
Yeah.
It's like VCRs and Beta.
Right.
VCR is lesser technology. Beta was better technology, better advertising, I guess.
Wait, what's Hydrox? I don't even know what Hydrox is.
An Oreo.
Oh, it's a cookie. They still make them, don't they?
I think so.
I
Yeah.
think so, yeah. Obviously, Kevin doesn't go to the grocery shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like if
thing.
I saw the packaging, maybe, but it's not ringing a bell at all right now.
Yeah, they were the original cookie like that.
Huh.
Cream-filled chocolate sandwich cookie. Yeah.
Well, I was actually thinking about movies, but okay.
I mean, when you think about it too, would you rather eat an Oreo or a Hydrox? Hydrox sounds like chemically.
Oh my God.
That's how they got their name.
I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this package, and yeah, I've never seen those before. Never heard of them. Never seen them.
Wow.
And you're still claiming they're on the shelf today, Mike?
I was questioning.
You know what I mean?
Oh, Hydrox laboratory. Yeah, I want a cookie made in a laboratory.
That's probably what it is. Oreos is very fun to say and think about, and Hydrox is.
Hydrox breathing gas. Oh my God.
Way to hijack the show.
Yeah, good job.
We talk about comic books and cookies.
All right, well, that'll do it. We're at our 30-minute point, Mike.
Wow.
So you're done.
Done. Round it up with a cookie. Or we could have called the show the One Cup of Coffee Show. When we're all done with our cup of coffee, the show's over.
Oh, that is actually true. I'm on my last sip.
I just sipped my last one. Pat, you always drink water on the show.
Nah, it's usually tea first thing, and then I get water for after.
You should try coffee.
When we hit about the 3-hour mark, I'm on water.
Yeah, okay.
No coffee. I can't stand coffee. I love the smell of coffee. I hate the taste of coffee.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right, so that'll do it. Check out our show tomorrow night. We got a show tomorrow night, Cover Combat 11, Round 4, right?
Yeah, already.
You check that out 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. And that'll do it for the whole other show. Unless you had anything else you wanted to say, Mike.
Nope. Thanks for checking us out.